Please welcome the man who's won everything, Jose Mourinho.
That is quite a reception you're getting there. Do you like the fact that people here love you?
Yeah, I feel good. I feel good with that. I feel even better when I play at home, Stamford Bridge, and I feel that my stadium is with me. But I confess that I also like when I go away and I feel the stadium is against me.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm going to ask you a really tough question now. You ready?
Let's try.
Of all the clubs you've managed, which is your favourite?
Well, you know, I have to be honest and say that every club I go, I arrive, I wear the shirt, and not even to sleep, I take the shirt off.
You do. Okay, that's good.
But the only one that I wear the shirt twice was Chelsea, because it was the only club where I left and I come back. So I would say Chelsea, but I have also to confess that Inter was really special, and Porto was my beginning, and I can't forget that. And a giant like Real Madrid is also an honor to manage.
There is only one club, though, that you've actually sung for. Because he can sing the song. Well, he can sing a bit of the song. I don't mean to be unkind, but... I don't mean to be unkind, but that singing is truly terrible.
I know.
I mean, I wanted to be able to say we can loan you to The Voice, but we can't. You've had a very colourful relationship with the media in this country. Do you see that as part of the game? Do you actually enjoy it? Because you've got to give a lot of press conferences, don't you? How many in a week?
Depends, but sometimes we play 3 matches and 3 means 6 press conferences. It's too much. It's too much.
Let's have a look at some of Jose's finest sort of performances in press conference.
Do you know what those starting lineups will be tomorrow?
So, Oscar is a yellow card, this one, the ref... I didn't speak. It was Billy the Masseur that spoke to the team. He was screaming so much in his Scottish, I didn't understand really. I didn't understand, but the players were clapping, okay, let's go.
That last one, in reference to the masseur who you got to give the speech, was this before Manchester City game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
In 2014. Well, you couldn't understand what he said, I assume.
I couldn't understand, really.
Why did you ask him to do it, though?
Because every game one does. Doesn't matter who. Can be a physio, a player, myself, an assistant. Any one of us can do it, and are just the last words before we go to the pitch. Obviously positive words, obviously words to increase a little bit the tempo and the body temperature. But Bill is a special guy, and with a special accent, I have to say that. Even sometimes with Sir Alex, when I speak with him face to face, good, but when he's on the phone...
You can't understand, you just say yes every now and again. Yeah.
I'm polite.
Yeah, exactly. Did it work? Did the masseur's speech work?
We won.
Yeah, perfect. Get him on again. You've just released a book that charts your amazing career. You've won 22 trophies in 15 years. What would you say are your career highlights? What are the things that you will never, ever forget, that you just go, yes, that was a moment of magic?
You know, the moment I will never forget is the first 3 months of the season 2015-16.
That is unforgettable, yes. And actually, it's a fair point, that, because lots of people will say, judge me on my successes. Others will say, judge me on how I recover from a difficult start, which is what you're in the process of doing.
Well, I prefer to be judged by my career and by the victories, but I have to say that it's a good experience. It's an experience that probably come too late, come after 15 years. So I was ready to live with it, to cope with it, because maturity and experience. But I can imagine that if this happened in the beginning of my career, probably my career would be even better, because as a process, this is an amazing learning process.
For you, learning things about yourself or learning things about the players?
About myself. About the players, I think I know everything about them. About myself, I still had some things to discover, and this period was important for me. I'm better than I thought.
Does it matter to you if players like you? Do they need to like you?
I think they need to like to work with me. I think they need to understand that I am the best manager they can work with. I think that is very, very important. Like me, don't like me, the person, the man, big friends, that's a supplement. But I think it's fundamental that the manager is somebody the players they look at and they know that he's good.
And they need to be a tiny weeny bit scared?
No. No, I don't think so.
Sometimes.
No.
No. How do you say to yourself, and indeed to your players, right, these are our aims for this year? Do you set out a plan at the beginning of a season, or do you just...
Yeah.
Yeah?
I always establish the impossible target, and I tell them this is the impossible target, but the target is win every match. They know that is impossible, and this season is proving that is really impossible. But I think is the target. You have to go to every match. It doesn't matter which competition is, and you want to win, and you feel that you can win. I think that's the important thing.
How do you find other clubs and other managers? I mean, would you send each other Christmas cards? Do you sort of chat? Are you mates?
Honestly?
Yeah.
3 groups of managers with my Christmas cards and my secretary. One I just sign. Another one I send a personalized message, and another one I don't send.
I really love that.
For example, to Big Sam, the Christmas card is not big enough, because I really enjoyed to write a message to a good guy. But some others...
When you think about the moments that you're happiest away from football, what are the things that make you smile, that just give you peace, that make you feel, alive?
In this moment? Win a match.
I do take that. I take that point. But away from football, is there anything that you just enjoy doing that makes you feel very relaxed?
I do nothing special, to be fair. My life is so simple. It's football, it's house.
Your daughter is now 18, isn't she?
19.
19 now. So it's going to be fairly soon, if she hasn't already, I'm sure she will be, bringing people home with her, people special. What are you going to be like as you assess the young man that walks through the door with her?
I'm waiting for that experience.
Are you going to be kind and gentle?
I don't know. I don't know.
Jose said in an interview recently that it's impossible to go anywhere in the world without people recognising him, so we thought we'd put it to the test. So do you think the Maasai warriors, the remote tribe in Kenya, would... Yes? Let's have a look.
Uni Jose Mourinho, coach wa Chelsea.
And actually, to be fair, you've met Maasai warriors in Kenya, haven't you?
Yes, and they did something amazing for me. I was there in holidays. At the same time, a World Cup was being played in South Africa. And in my hotel, no television. And they made sure I got a television in the middle of that tribe. And I watched the World Cup.
Had you wanted to?
Surrounded by them.
Around you, and they're watching you. Sure. Had you wanted to watch the World Cup?
I didn't.
But you've got to be grateful. Did you say thank you?
Sure.
Yeah. Right, it's time for a quick break, but coming up, Jose Mourinho will be joined by a player I know he admires hugely, the only man to have scored in an FA Cup final, a League Cup final and a Champions League final. It's Steven Gerrard.
And to refuse me 3 times.
And to refuse you 3 times, exactly. We'll be talking about that, and we'll be talking to 2 roaring lionesses, Lucy Bronze and Katie Chapman. We'll see you very soon. With the most successful active manager, Jose Mourinho. It's time to introduce our second guest. He's etched his name in Anfield folklore with some of the most audacious moments of individual brilliance. No other player has worn the red shirt with more pride and earned such universal admiration.
He is one of the world's greatest footballers. In an illustrious career, Steven Gerrard won over 100 caps for England. A Liverpool icon, he represented his hometown club for 17 years. First captaining the side at 23, Stevie G has been at the heart of some of the club's greatest moments, inspiring them to that stunning Champions League triumph, UEFA Cup success and FA Cup glory. After an emotional Anfield farewell, he joined LA Galaxy and is now one of the biggest stars in the MLS. Please welcome a legend for club and country, Steven Gerrard.
Reception, and there are a few Liverpool shirts there, but that's not all Liverpool fans. That's some Chelsea fans too cheering you.
You told them what to do, that's why.
Do you think? Yeah. The 2 of you are going to be fine tonight. You were going to get on, aren't you?
Yeah, of course.
Because I never know what on earth was going on here. It's the funniest thing about that. It's like a 5-year-old child. I've got the ball. You're not having it back.
Things he'll do to win.
No,
you know?
But he loves you. You really do, don't you? You've always admired him as a player.
Yeah.
You have tried to woo him.
Sure, 3 times.
And what happened?
His blood spoke, and he decided to stay at Liverpool, which I was a bit frustrated, especially a couple of times, because the 3rd one I was already convinced that he was not coming. But I admire a lot that decision.
Were you tempted?
Yeah, very much so. You know, when Jose Mourinho comes calling, it puts a player in a very difficult situation. Only that I'd been at Liverpool for 8 years of age, and all my family are Reds, and that the club means so much to me. So he put me in a difficult situation 3 times.
And what did you admire in him as a player? What was it about Steven Gerrard that you wanted?
I always had, on Steven and Lampard, I really like, because they could do everything. When I was really thinking about accept the England job, I was thinking finally I have both together. But then I didn't go.
Why?
Because I was too young. I was too young, you know.
But you could have got the best out of them together, couldn't you?
I could never understand why they couldn't do something big, because that generation was phenomenal.
And you got a letter, didn't you?
Yeah, it was after a charity match that we held at Anfield. John Terry was kind enough to make his way down and do his bit for charity, and he handed me a letter. I didn't know who it was off. He just said, open it, it's a bit of a surprise for you. So when I got home, I opened the letter, and it was off this fella. And it was a very touching message, and the letter is now in a frame, pride of place in the house. That's what it means to me, and it was a nice touch which showed the other side, what he gives to players off the pitch, and even players that have been a rival and have turned them down on 2 or 3 occasions. He's still humble enough and a gentleman to take the time out to write me a letter.
So I always felt respect for the player, respect for the man, and sorry that he left the Premier League.
Now, you've been training at Liverpool under Jurgen Klopp, who, while we've seen the sort of soft underside of Jose, we see the soft side of Jurgen Klopp all the time. He is a hugger, doesn't he? He loves to hug his players. Has he hugged you?
Yeah, I've had a couple of them, yeah.
Is he nice? Is it a nice hug? Is he
nice, he's a big guy, I think he's about 6'3", 6'4", so big cuddles. When these top managers, they come along and they show these players this love, it makes you feel taller, it makes you feel bigger, it raises the confidence levels, and that's what, that bit of love you can get off a manager can give you.
Are you a secret hugger? Do you hug them?
No, I'm more about...
Exactly.
It's the same.
And do you know Jurgen Klopp? Had you known him before?
Yeah, I met him, yeah.
So where's he going to be on the Christmas card list? Which section?
Yeah, nice simple message. Yeah.
Okay. And that'll get longer and longer, I expect.
Yeah.
As you get to know him more. And there are these breaks in the MLS, which is why you're here now. And some players, I think Thierry Henry did it, and Robbie Keane, I think they came on loan while they were at an MLS club. And you could do it. Would you do it? Would you suddenly pop up playing for Liverpool again?
No. I'm sorry. I've already had my time. It's time to move on. I'm enjoying being over in America and playing in the MLS. Liverpool are moving on without me. I'm keeping fit and ticking over there at the moment and enjoying being around all the staff and all the players that I know very well.
And you're still such a fan of Liverpool. I mean, you're watching their games live when you can, aren't you? Or all the time in LA?
All the time, yeah. I'm losing some sleep over it. Yeah.
Well, that's because you're, what, 10 hours behind?
Yeah, but it's BT's fault. They keep putting them on at 12:30. If Liverpool win, it's fine. You're happy and you feel great for the rest of the day. It's when you get up and they lose and you've lost 5 hours sleep, that's the problem.
And what are you like when you watch? Are you animated? Do you get emotionally involved? Do you shout?
I'm probably worse than when I played, because you're in no control. When you're playing and you're in that dressing room, there's something you can do, you can contribute, and when you're sitting on a couch in LA, there's nothing you can do except throw stuff around the house or shout and scream at the TV. You
rang David Beckham for advice before you moved there. What did he say to you?
Go for it. He spoke very highly of the club Galaxy, about the level. He said to me, I'll enjoy the life, get left alone, be able to do stuff with the kids and the family without, anyone interfering. And he said I'd also enjoy the league. He also explained it's not Premier League level, but it's still a good enough level to enjoy your football and see out your career. So he was a big factor in my decision. And how would you assess your first season there? It wasn't good enough from our point of view, because we were first and second in the league up until the last month of the season. We lost 2 out the last 3 and fell down the pecking order in the playoffs. A bit disappointed to come home so early. Hopefully we can put that right next year. So the playing side of it is going to improve, but the living side of it, I mean, we did this thing with Jose earlier, I don't know whether you saw it, where obviously he's going to get recognised anywhere in the world. He can't go into the middle of Maasai Warriors and not get recognised. But LA might be the place.
Oh, it's fantastic.
LA, completely anonymous.
We go in pre-season, and this is the best place.
Because nobody knows.
A few, but not many.
Now, when we knew you were coming on the show, I got in touch with a couple of friends of yours to get some alternative questions. So first of all, I rang your good mate John Bishop, a very good footballer himself, actually. He didn't pick up the phone.
Who said that?
I've seen him play.
You've seen him play?
I've seen him play.
So have I.
Yeah. Anyway, John Bishop wouldn't pick up the phone to me, but he did leave a message on my answer phone.
Hi Claire, it's John Bishop. Can you do me a favour and ask Stevie about the injury he picked up when playing against Bournemouth in the FA Cup? It wasn't a very big thing.
What was the injury?
It was a laceration of the penis.
Well, he's given us the technical explanation there.
A big laceration of the penis.
How did it happen?
I went in for a slide tackle 50-50 to stop a cross. I actually got there for once. Block tackle, the follow through right up into the private area.
And did you know right away? Did you think, ow? Yes, obviously.
I definitely knew ow.
Did you know what it was?
No, but there was an extreme sting, and I knew the game was on TV, so I had to have a slight peek, and it didn't look great. So I trottled over to Brendan and the physio and give the physio a slight peek, and he went and I went back, and then he said to me, carry on, because it was a cup game and it was really tight, so I had to get back out there and just grin and bear it, and then I got it stitched up after the game.
I hesitate to ask this, but everything all right now?
Yeah, it's fine now, all recovered, all sorted.
Good. Now, I tweeted your good mate Wayne Rooney, and this is what he thought I should ask. Claire, you need to ask him why he would always rush home after games. Why did you always rush home after
Same
games?
reason he used to rush back home as well, to watch X Factor.
Is that right? Is that your guilty pleasure? Do you watch X Factor?
No.
No. I can imagine you judging it. You'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
Be better than Simon Cowell, wouldn't he?
Definitely, yeah.
Now, one story I did hear about you was sleeping with the Champions League trophy. Did you? It's a big trophy.
We had an after party planned if it went well. At half time, it was cancelled, obviously. But after the game, we'd won, and I was one of the last to leave. I could see the cup on the side. Alex wasn't there at the time. Double bed to myself. Get in there.
Yeah.
Blanket over. Good night.
Have you ever slept with a trophy, Jose?
No.
You've written a book, My Story, which deals pretty candidly with your 17 years at Liverpool. How was it revisiting those memories? Did you get emotional writing it?
Well, I think the important thing when you're doing a book is to be real, and be really fair to the people that are buying it. Be as honest and as genuine as you can, and that's what I've tried to do. We
stumbled across a football impressionist. He's very, very good, called Darren Farley on the internet, and we've recorded him reading from your book, and he does some great voices. So we're all going to make sure we guess who is actually the voice that he is impersonating. Who's this?
Alex had made me tea. She placed the salmon, pasta and salad in front of me. It was my favourite meal. But I stared at me food that early evening, feeling sick to me stomach. The three girls were running around the house, kicking up a racket, just being kids. My head seemed close to bursting. I could not pick up a knife and fork. My meal remained untouched. Yeah, of course.
We know who that is, don't we? Stevie G himself. The good news for you is you actually don't have to do the audiobook yourself, because he can do it for you.
Do I really sound like that?
Now, there's so much I want to ask you, and we're in danger of running out of time, so I'm just going to fire some quick questions at you. Steven Gerrard, best player you've played against?
Zinedine Zidane.
Best player you've played with?
Luis Suarez.
Best goal you've scored?
FA Cup final.
Does your wife Alex like football?
No.
Best manager you've worked under?
Tactically, Rafa Benitez.
Which manager was the worst footballer themselves in training?
None of them have ever joined in. Actually, tell a lie, Kenny Dalglish's joined in, and he was pretty good.
Fair enough.
He still had a few moves.
Well, just wonderful to have you sitting next to each other, given the relationship you've had without actually managing to work together. So we're going to take this as your moment together. We've got to say goodbye now to Jose Mourinho, but what a brilliant, brilliant guest you've been. Thank you so much. Fabulous. Thank you. time for another